Hey, Warrior Saints. Welcome to today's Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people in with us as we start to close out our week looking at the whole armor of God. We heard on Monday this beautiful phrase from Ephesians 6, verse 13. Therefore, take on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. And we used it as a way to talk about what are we looking at? What are our arguments that we're supposed to get into or not get into? What does it mean to stand up for what we believe? And how are we going to be ready for it? We looked at what it means to gird our loins with the gospel message, what it means to be girded in truth, the truth that is Jesus Christ. What it means to then go and put on the breastplate of righteousness. Righteousness meaning that we are following God's commandments. And then when we do that, we need to know where we can walk. What are we walking into? What are we walking away from? And how are we going to get through that chaos that we talked about last week for the entirety of the week? That chaos that is surrounding us everywhere, so that we may shod our feet in the equipment of the gospel of peace, having walked through, gotten through the chaos, being defended and girded in truth and prepared with righteousness. And we might come out on the other side of that chaos in peace. Today, we're going to look at two things. And then tomorrow, we're going to look at the final piece of the armor of God. And today, as we talk about these two things, it's very important to recognize an understanding of faith. What is faith? We always want to talk about faith. I need to stand firm in my faith. My faith is what I believe. My faith is so dear to me. But it's interesting. Today we hear in verse 16, besides all these, taking the shield of faith, with which you can quench all the flaming darts of the evil one. Faith is not what you feel. Faith has nothing to do with what you hold in your heart. And Jesus Christ is my personal Savior. And we're walking on the beach and it's beautiful and it's lovely. And He's carrying me. Sometimes I'm carrying Him because I carry Him here and I love Him. That's not your breastplate. Your breastplate is the commandments of God. Your faith is the shield. Excuse me. Your faith is the shield. It is your ultimate defense. But it comes after your feet, because your faith is a verb. If your faith is not guiding where you walk, then that shield does nothing. And you think about it. Think about movies like 300, how they build a wall of shields around them. Those shields are there not defending just themselves, but defending the person next to them. And everyone is taking care of each other, because it is that shield that is the faith that is guiding how you live, how you move, how you do everything. And it is in that, as we put on that breastplate of righteousness, which is what's really guarding our heart, following God's commandments, that our shield, which is our faith, showing us where we are walking as we're guiding ourselves with the gospel of peace, so that we can get through the chaos that is around us, quenching those fiery darts of the evil one, protecting us and protecting those around us, because we are following God's commandments. Our faith is guided by where we walk. Our shield goes to the front. It doesn't go to the side. It doesn't go behind. It stays in front of us, and our feet position where it moves. So it's very interesting that that's how St. Paul goes. And then immediately following that, he says, take the helmet of salvation. It's as if to say, in all of these other things, that the last thing that you are putting on, piece of armor, the last defense that you have, is the helmet of salvation. Because as he runs through the list and everything is building on itself, it is there that you find that peace on the other end, that you find that salvation, that you are able to attain your goal. But it's only if you do all the other things. It's only if you gird your loins in truth. It's only if you put on the breastplate of righteousness, following God's commandments along the gospel of peace, guiding yourself where you walk, putting on that that shield, taking up that shield that is faith, that is an action, that is a verb, guiding how you are viewing the rest of the world. Then you put on the helmet of salvation. It is then that you are able to come out on the other side having conquered. And that is what we are fighting to do every single day, is help you, help us, help everyone that we can. Build this army of warrior saints that are clothed in the armor of God so that we might together stand against those fiery darts of the evil one and together stand up and stand firm in what we believe. Visit us at warriorsaints.org. Join the army. Get on the way of the warrior saint. And until we see you tomorrow, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.